So you know about rally, but what about rallycross? Well, rally is one car at a time over a vast area. Rallycross is multiple cars off a start line, stadium sport, short track, twice as much horsepower, contact in turn one, tarmac, gravel, sometimes snow, massive jumps, a joker lap. If this is all sounding a little confusing, stick around. This is your Rallycross 101.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nitro Rallycross weekend culminates in the big show, a 10-car final, everyone doing battle to be crowned the winner of that event and take the all-important championship points towards the Nitro Rallycross title. But what have you got to do to get your car on the front row for the final? There is a huge amount of teamwork and tactics that goes into the qualifying stages of the event. Rallycross is a hybrid of circuit racing like F1 and rally. Only these cars are faster to 60 and the surface is a mixture of tarmac and gravel with some jumps thrown in for good measure. It's a stadium style circuit so the fans can see every inch of the action because this sport is all about spectacle. Track conditions change all weekend, especially on the dirt. Sometimes it rubbers in and you get a blue groove like in dirt oval, sometimes it gets cut up like in motocross. It's all part of the challenge. A lap length is rarely longer than a mile and a race duration is never really longer than 6 minutes. So you get a blast of the action and plenty of time to grab some refreshments. Subaru and Vermont Sports Car have a 30-year history in rally, but they've actually now got more than a decade's experience running the very highest level of rallycross in America with these incredible machines, Supercars. We're going to take a closer look at what makes them tick. So this is the Subaru Motorsports USA Rallycross car. It starts life as a road-going shell. It is completely stripped back before being built into this machine. The wheelbase is the same as the road car, the engine very much not. It is a flat 4 boxer, develops 600 horsepower and 680 foot-pounds of torque, which means this can accelerate from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. On the outside of the car, you'll immediately notice extensive work to the aerodynamics. The very large rear wing, and then these fenders, which are designed to keep the speed up in the corners and help the car fly flat in the jumps. There's extra downforce on the top, and then we've got vents in here to direct the airflow exactly where we want it. They are also made really tough to protect the car and its critical components from heavy impacts. Sorry, I mean door-to-door racing. Okay, so inside the Rallycross car, climbing in's a bit like the rally car, but once you're in it, it's completely different. There's one seat, only one seat. It's further back and lower down for weight. And if you look at the dash, there is just nothing there. Just one tiny screen which gives us the bare minimum of information we need for a 5-minute sprint battle out on the track. On the steering wheel here, we've got a button which is for jump limiters. We've got a push to talk to the spotter. We've got some settings for the launch, and we've got a little knob there to turn through the various different settings on the screen. To my right, this is gear shift, and then handbrake on the top of the handbrake there. That is the all-important launch button. Very fun indeed. Now, it's minimalistic to the extreme in that this battery here powers the car during the race. There is no alternator, and that's to save weight. They build these cars underweight and then they bring them back up to the series minimum weight using ballast in different places on the car to get the handling just right. So this thing is not remotely comfortable or practical. It is designed entirely with safety and outright speed in mind. Do I want to own one? Absolutely. Do I want to go to the shops here? No way.
He's running wide!
Would I enjoy every other thing about this car? Yes.
Master pass! Well done, you're racing to the line! You're wrong! Oh, unbelievable! That was one!
Whenever you put a bunch of supercars out on track together, there is bound to be some carnage, and that is when the technicians really earn their pay.
You might not want to get close. We a little wild war, covered in tattoos, run it up, taking all the views. Stepping on place, feeling the fear. I know you're feeling it in the air.
With live television schedules and waiting fans, teams often have mere minutes to repair damage and reset the cars for the next race. They have to work with the drivers to find the best balance in terms of handling on the different surfaces, but they also have to think about performance versus durability. Yes, lighter is faster, but is it strong enough for contact in turn 1? When the team is on the road, everything it needs to run the race cars comes in these trucks. This is where the engineers work to make people like Travis as fast as can possibly be. Look at the onboards, Travis.
The race hadn't even started yet, and they're going over all the data. We've got all the data.
We're good to go. Come this way. So into the paddock, and the cars live here, and this area is designed for the mechanics to be able to do their jobs just as quickly as possible. You might need to change a gearbox in, say, 15 minutes, swap out an engine. All the tools and all the parts that are needed are here to get that done as fast as possible. And when they need feeding, we've got hospitality up at the far end of the tent there as well. Now, of course, sometimes the gaps between the events are very, very short, and that means that the reprep might need to be done on the road. We've got everything we need. This is the start grid, and it's possibly the most important few seconds of the race in Rallycross. You don't want to be at the back here, you want to be up front on the pole, but wherever you are on the grid, those start settings are absolutely crucial. Too much RPM, you get too much wheel spin, you're going backwards. Not enough RPM, you bog the engine, you're going backwards. Bad reaction time, guess what? You're going backwards. Now, whether it's gone brilliantly or badly at the start, there's one other place where you can make a really big difference to your race, and that is the Joker lap.
Hansen goes into the Joker. How slippery is it for him? Pastrana's going to go big over the gap.
So what is a Joker lap and how does it work? Well, it's an alternate route to the standard lap, which every driver must take once in each race. It can be shorter. At this track, it's longer, and in fact, they're building it today. This one goes under a gap jump. So you use it tactically. If you lose out at the start, you'd maybe go immediately and then try and make up some time in the clear air to catch up to the leader. If you're the leader, you'll probably wait until the very last lap. Come the merge, we get to find out who is going to take the checkered flag. Head-to-head racing on a Rallycross weekend starts with the battle bracket. It's a knockout-style tournament, all the cars coming through, and this gives us our grids for when racing happens on day 2. First up, it's the heat races. 2 cars from each of these heat races go straight to the final, the front rows. That's a big advantage. Then the semi-finals, 2 cars again from each of the semi make the final. If you still haven't had any luck, you're on to the last chance qualifier, and the top 2 from that will go to the back row of the final. 10 cars through, time to fight for the win.
TQ takes the win, yes, Travis!
Points are scored on both days of a Rallycross competition. On day 1 in the battle bracket, it's 1 point per win. You lose straight away, it's a 0. You win all your battles, it's a 4. That could be crucial in the championship, but the big points are up for grabs on Sunday. 50 points for the winner of the 10-car final, and so on. If you're outside that, it's another 0, I'm afraid. In Europe, they do things a little bit differently, but the show in the final is the same. Fast cars, big jumps, mixed surfaces, Rallycross is possibly the most exciting motorsport in the world. Possibly? Come on, it is.